Welcome to the virtual training for the Title I Comprehensive Needs Assessment. In this training, we will focus on identifying a problem of practice for student success and caring culture. As we engage in this process, it is important to avoid solutionitis. As educators, it is our natural propensity to want to propose solutions once a problem is identified. However, in this process, we want to stay in root cause analysis thinking to study the problem, identify high-impact areas we call drivers for improvement, and then shift to identifying SIP actions as solutions. This will help us to hone our actions to high-impact areas for attaining our SIP goals. This process is best performed with multiple stakeholders, providing their perspectives on the factors impacting the problems of practice. We realize that during the COVID-19 pandemic, this may be difficult. If multiple stakeholders, that is more than one staff, are able to engage in this process, we ask you to celebrate and build on ideas and seek to understand the practitioner knowledge about factors impacting the problem of practice. Embrace possibly wrong and definitely incomplete. Don't let perfection get in the way of refining your SIP actions. In this process, you may need to add or amend your current SIP actions to align to those high-impact drivers. Remember that you will need to identify two problems of practice, one for student success and one for caring culture. Please read this slide to ground yourself in what is a learner-centered problem of practice. Here are some tips for identifying a learner-centered problem of practice. You'll want to frame the problem as close to student experience as possible. Review the current SIP goals, strategies, and actions related to student success. Those are those goals that are aligned to student achievement, access or opportunity, as well as portrait of a graduate attributes. For caring culture, you'll want to identify the goals that are aligned to welcoming and culturally responsive environments and healthy life choices. Examples may include mitigating disproportionality in discipline and behavior infractions. Consider the instructional strategies that bridge all of the goals and that your school aspires to operationalize for its students. For example, the workshop model may be an instructional pedagogy used for teaching reading, math, and science. Describe the student experience you hope to see operationalized in every classroom in your problem of practice. Here are some examples of problems of practice in student success. Here are some examples of problems of practice for caring culture. Once you have identified the problem of practice for student success, you will scribe it in the what portion of the Comprehensive Needs Assessment. In the next video, we will walk you through 3 protocols to support the identification of systems drivers impacting the problem of practice. Once you have identified these systems drivers, you will copy and paste them here in the why portion of your Comprehensive Needs Assessment. Next, you will copy and paste your current SIP goals aligned to student success in the So What section, as well as the strategies and actions. Then you will align the strategies and actions to those high-impact drivers. And lastly, you will code them to the Title I components. Please note that we have listed the definition of the Title I components 2 through 4 at the bottom of the page. For caring culture problems of practice, you will place them in the What section of the Comprehensive Needs Assessment for caring culture. Next, you will list the prioritized drivers for caring culture problem of practice from highest to lowest, and then cut and paste your current SIP goal for caring culture. If you do not have a current SIP goal for caring culture, you will need to draft one with strategies and actions to be used in the future SIP. This comprehensive needs assessment suffices the Title I requirement for 2 years as long as your school continues to meet state standards of accreditation. Don't forget to align those actions to those high-impact drivers and code each of the actions to the Title I components. Once you've completed your comprehensive needs assessment, you will upload it to your regional Google Site SIP folder for your school. To do this, you will click on the regional Google Site, locate your school SIP folder. This is also where you will locate your current SIP, and this is where you will upload your completed comprehensive needs assessment. The Title I team will then work with regional leadership to link your comprehensive needs assessment to your current and future SIPs. The comprehensive needs assessment must be completed by April 13, 2020. Please note that this is the same date as your Title I budget book. For help with this process, please feel free to contact Yvonne Denome, Lisa Felder, Gina Toller, and Claire Silva. In the next video, we will walk you through the 3 protocols to help you identify those high-impact drivers.